My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And we're also giving away $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets, signs up with one of our 5 betting partners, and makes a deposit, will get $50 from us. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. And this is brought to you by EarnU.io. EarnU.io is the world's first sports and esports prediction game, allowing you to earn crypto risk-free. Check it out now at EarnU.io. Next up at UFC 274, we have the main event of the evening. We have Charles Oliveira taking on Justin Gaethje. Charles Oliveira, 32-8 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, and he's riding an 11-fight win streak. Justin Gaethje, 23-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a war with Michael Chandler. And Charles Oliveira may be the most well-rounded, talented guy in the UFC. He has incredible kickboxing skills, laser pinpoint accuracy. His kicks are deadly, and he throws to your legs, your body, your head. He has power, but it's mostly from speed and timing, and it's not really true power from his hips. He averages about 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, but he's only successful 41% of the time. But what separates him from the rest of the division is his ability to snap up a submission in any scramble. He has the most submission wins in UFC history, and his ability to snatch something up in a transition means that his opponents have to be 100% aware of their surroundings every second of the fight. Justin Gaethje is a wrestler who doesn't use his wrestling. He's got solid college wrestling background, but he has 0 takedowns in the UFC. He has power, but he's more of a volume guy who relies on his chin. He marches forward, throws heavy, and will just stay in your face. He loves ugly fights and thrives in the chaos. He struggles against guys who can keep it technical. Poirier, for example, had nice, clean technical striking, and he was able to just sort of stay a step ahead, working the takedowns and get that done. And Justin almost needs a war to win a fight. And over the last few years, the lightweight division has become a ton of fun. This is one of the best divisions to watch. I think Khabib retired too early, but when we get matchups like this, I'm honestly glad that he did, right? I'm glad Khabib is out of the way and we can get some of these really fun fights that we would not get otherwise. I think this entire fight comes down to Justin Gaethje's chin. If his chin continues to do what it does, I think Justin can have a lot of success. I think he's just marching forward, throwing a ton of volume, making it ugly, absorbing whatever comes his way. I think Justin is actually a really bad style for Charles Oliveira because Charles has pinpoint accuracy and he does get TKOs. He also has nasty submissions, but Justin, I don't see Justin going on the ground, right? He's not going to shoot the takedowns. I don't see Charles Oliveira being able to take down Justin. You guys went nuts. You went nuts in the comment section of the Quick Picks video saying he doesn't need to shoot a takedown. He can just climb on your back. But because that's what he did to Dustin Poirier. The difference is Dustin Poirier was sort of willing to engage grappling. Like he trusts his grappling. He wants to do that. He doesn't want an ugly fight. Justin Gaethje wants an ugly, gritty, gross fight. And Charles Oliveira is not going to want to be in the pocket with Justin Gaethje. Charles Oliveira is definitely more technical. Definitely better on the ground. He's the better fighter. But I think this is a bad stylistic matchup. I think Justin Gaethje marches forward, makes it ugly. Charles Oliveira is going to fade as the fight goes on, and Justin will not. He gets more power as the fight goes on. And I think he's just the Terminator, absorbs everything that comes his way, marches forward, throwing stuff, making it ugly. I think Justin Gaethje wins this fight, even though Charles Oliveira is the far better fighter pretty much everywhere. What do you think?
Yeah, this worries me a little bit after our debacle with Rob Font because we were both so high on Rob Font, and I'm with you on Justin Gaethje, man. You know, when you become a champion, becoming a champion is almost easier than defending the belt. They always talk about like defending the belt is like the hardest thing you can do because that's when people expect you to be the champion. There's a lot more press, there's a lot more this, and people will always give you their best when you're the champion. When you're holding that belt, everybody wants it, and it's so hard to hold on that belt. And eventually, Charles Oliveira is not going to be the champion for the next 5 to 10 years. That's just the fact. I don't think he's one of those guys that could just be one of those dominant guys that just defends it over and over and over and over again. He's defended it once, and he looked great doing it, except for when he got knocked down. So I just think eventually he's going to lose, and I think I agree with you, Angela. I think that Justin Gaethje, his style, his weird style, the way he can sit in the pocket and take shots, but he also has the wrestling, so you can't really expect to be able to take him down. He doesn't use the offensive wrestling, and obviously I don't think he should use offensive wrestling in this matchup. I don't think he's even considering it, which is good on his part. But unless you're Khabib, you're not going to just take this guy down and submit him. People think that Charles Oliveira is just going to shoot a single leg or drag him to the ground, or maybe he gets him hurt and takes his back or whatever. Justin Gaethje is good enough in the wrestling, in the grappling. I actually talked about it with Michael Chandler too, right? With Michael Chandler, he's so well tuned in his wrestling and in his grappling that his instincts, that even if he's hurt, even if he's tired, his instincts know what to do. He knows how to explode when he needs to explode. He knows this. He knows when to stay calm when he needs to stay calm in certain submissions, in certain positions. And that's the same thing with Justin Gaethje. He just knows what to do in those positions, not to stay in them, but to just get out of them, get back to his feet, and do what he does, which is I don't want to say dominate the striking, but be very patient in the striking. Throw those leg kicks. I know Oliveira kind of knocked down Chandler with the leg kick. I think Justin Gaethje has a real chance to really eat up that front leg of Charles Oliveira. A lot of his striking is really with that bouncy in and out, that boom, boom, and then he's back out. You start trimming that front leg. Now he's not as quick. Now he can't get out of those strikes, those big shots that Justin Gaethje is going to come with. You know, this is going to sound stupid, and if you want to hate me, that's fine. I don't see how Charles Oliveira wins this fight. I don't think he's going to knock out Justin Gaethje.
I mean, I think
if this becomes a striking kickboxing match, I think that Justin Gaethje wins those exchanges, unless it's like a super clean. But Charles Oliveira talked about he wants to get in the pocket and exchange with Justin Gaethje. Why the fuck do you want to do that? Nobody wants to do that except for Michael Chandler. We saw what happened to Michael Chandler. You know, maybe there's a weird thing where he's able to get his back and climb his back and is able to do what Charles Oliveira does over and over again, is just submit people. But I don't think he's going to knock Justin Gaethje out. I think he's in danger of getting knocked out if he strikes with Gaethje. And I mean, and this is going to sound like, we're both on the same side. I know he's the underdog, but I'm playing the Justin Gaethje side, and we'll have to tune in to lock. He's another candidate for lock of the week. There's not a ton of underdogs I like on this card, but he's another candidate for lock of the week. Tune in Wednesday to see who it is, but I'm going Justin Gaethje, man. I'm going Justin. So we're both on the Gaethje side. I don't like it, but going Gaethje.
Yeah, I think styles make fights. Charles Oliveira is a better fighter than Justin Gaethje. He's a better fighter. He's the better pure striker. He's the better pure grappler. Not as good of a wrestler. His chin isn't as good as Justin's, but styles make fights, and I just think Justin Gaethje stomping forward, absorbing whatever comes his way. I open this by saying this entire fight comes down to Justin's chin. If Justin gets KO'd, well, then his chin didn't hold up. So yeah, I was right. It came down to his chin. If Justin's chin holds up, I don't see him getting submitted. I don't see him losing a decision. I think he terminators. He just takes it. Hey, look at the Cheeto Vera fight from last week. He terminated. He got battered. 280 strikes landed on that guy. Battered. But he didn't get cut up. He didn't get bloodied. And he just landed the big stuff when he needed to. And he would win a round. He would lose 4 minutes of a round, win the last minute, did some real damage, won that round, rinse, repeat. So Charles Oliveira is the better striker. Does that mean that Justin Gaethje can't beat him in striking? Of course not. Styles make fights. I think Justin Gaethje can terminator his way into this. But again, if he gets submitted, yeah, no shit. That could happen. But you guys are acting like
and the people that come for our throats, it's like if Charles Oliveira, he's supposed to win. He's the favorite in the fight. If he wins by submission, that's what he's the most submission wins or whatever it is. So don't be like, oh, I told you so. Like that's what's supposed to happen. He's favored to win the fight. I just think that Gaethje, I don't think he's gonna be able to take Justin down. I don't think he's going to knock Justin out.
I don't think so either. And everybody's like, oh, this guy, Eric Cote, he double-legged Chandler. And Chandler almost put his lights out. Almost put his lights out in the first round. So, but that's not a consideration here, that his lights were almost put out. And everybody's acting like Charles Oliveira, like it's a 100% guarantee. If you're on the ground with Charles Oliveira, you get submitted. Because I could pull up the UFC stats
Chandler
right now.
Survived.
There's plenty of, he
had Chandler's back.
He didn't get submitted. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of people that Charles Oliveira went to the ground with and didn't submit. Plenty of people. So I love Charles Oliveira. I think he's amazing, but he didn't submit Paul Felder.
Yeah,
Paul Felder KO'd.
Imbe, what I'm saying is obviously the path for submission is there. It's just I don't think he's going to be on an opportunity to submit Gaethje. So yeah, the path to victory is there, and obviously anything could happen. It's a fist fight, and he's the champion of the world. But in my mind, I don't see the takedown. I don't see him knocking out, so I don't see the path to victory. I don't think he can win the decision either.
Ricardo Lamas submitted Charles Oliveira. Anthony Pettis submitted Charles Oliveira. Max Holloway KO'd Charles Oliveira. Frankie Edgar got a bunch of takedowns, didn't get submitted. Cub Swanson was taken down, knocked him out. Donald Cerrone knocked him out. Nick Lentz, bunch of takedowns, not submitted. And my point is, Charles Oliveira is the better fighter. He's absolutely the better fighter, but styles make fights, and everybody's acting like it is 1,000% guarantee. Like if you fall in water, you're going to get wet. If you're on the ground, Charles Oliveira will submit you. If Justin Gaethje gets submitted, it's not surprising. This isn't a hill I'm going to. It's not surprising if he gets submitted at all. Like Jacob said, that's what's supposed to happen. So either way, we're both on the Justin Gaethje side. I'm a little more cautious about it than Jacob is. I just think Justin Gaethje's chin will be there, and he's just going to keep coming forward, throwing bombs, absorbing bombs, and I don't think there's going to be much in the way of grappling. I do see many paths for Charles Oliveira to win because Justin Gaethje's style cannot last forever. His chin will give out, and maybe it gives out on Saturday.
And I mentioned before, this is no one-less fight. I mean, he's a Trevor Whitman guy. Nobody's going to outwork Justin Gaethje. Trevor Whitman will have Justin Gaethje ready for whatever Charles Oliveira is going to offer him. It still might work, but he's going to be prepared for most of those positions that Oliveira's going to, either in the striking, the combos that Oliveira's going to throw. Trevor Whitman's going to have him prepared. I'm a big Trevor Whitman guy. Even like I said, even against Khabib, he was prepared. He was landing shot. He was ready when Khabib was. He was counter striking Khabib and landing shots. Khabib could just eat. Because his chin is like the most underrated chin in the UFC history, I think, honestly. So anyway.
Well, we'll see what happens. It should be a really fun fight. I'm looking forward to it. Charles Oliveira is the better fighter, but styles make fights, and I think Justin can take this fight. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Continue the arguing, the bashing. Do that on our Discord. The Discord is 100% free. There is a link in the description. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we will see you on Friday.
Lock of the Week video Wednesday. Find out who it is.
Check out Jake's Lock of the Week video, and we'll see you on Friday for all the final things.